Right, I have literally just got time to make this one before I go to my wellbeing group. So I will probably make another one after that. But I've planned a few little bits and bobs. There's nothing special, but they're all things that have to be completed tasks, and I've got a plan and a route, and I've got to visit a few different places and tie it in with my mental health group and going to the gym. I'm going to bump it up and succeed in all of my little fundamentals in my little tasks, but like the basics of just planning something out and going through it methodically and knowing what you're doing and all of that sort of stuff. So like I made my last video because of like the news that I'd heard about ADHD being on the spectrum and all that. And like I've always said on that, call it what you want. Call it what you fucking want. I know that the you know, the services, they use a label because, well, it's like, because it's not a label, it is an identifiable set of characteristics which can be clearly noted and treated. So they need to know what condition they are attempting to treat or to improve. Let's just say that, because that's a lot of the time that's all you can get. Once you get to a certain stage of mental health issues, it's, you know, you can't unpickle cucumbers, but you can make beautiful sandwiches with them. That was a great analogy there, Mikey. Thanks, Mikey. That was a great analogy. That was like life giving you lemons, wasn't it? But there's a mental health version. I like that. Anyway, enough about that nonsense. Because I did want to sort of come back a little bit to the living with Elvanse. Keep wanting to call it Everlance, because that's what my mate was calling it, and everyone that I heard was calling it was just Everlance. It's not, it's Elvanse. Anyway, so it's good, like I've got the stuff that I'm planning to do today. You know, I've got a sort of study group, as it were, to pay attention, listen, contribute, hopefully bring someone to the group, get something from the group, complete all my domestic tasks, my replenishment tasks, all that sort of shit. And then tomorrow I'm doing, I'll just call it research, but it is, you know, stuff that I've been really struggling with. So that's kind of like, you know, I had the first week. This is Dear It. Mikey goes to the diary room. This is like a diary room. This is my diary room. So it's like, yeah, I've had a week to settle down, because I never finished the point in another video about obsessing over it. Is this the meds? Is it not the meds? And I said that you have to, but you do have to. You do have to, because you always have to allow for coincidence. You always have to allow for a great many things. You know, is this just a little bit of my character? Is this, you know, would I normally be like that? What if I had a sudden headache, but I hadn't taken a medicine that day? What would I attribute that to? All of that sort of thing. And you have to keep going with it until there becomes a bigger picture. And that's why I had to keep a diary for, I think it was 6 weeks, something like that. It was quite a lot. It was quite, you know, for someone like me as well. I was thinking, well, this alone is a good test of if the medicine's working, because of my ability to sit down and write. I had to type it. I had to type it and save it on my computer, and then I just reopened it each day and just wrote a couple of paragraphs. I just about managed it. But yeah, even with that I missed a few days. But you know, so you do have to wait to see the bigger picture develop. And I think what I was thinking to myself last night, naughty as it might be, I'm thinking already, like, I think I want to go up. I think there's more to give. That's what I think. By and large, sort of on balance, yes, it is giving me more space to do things. But there's so many other things at play. I mean, I still have to really push for the motivation to keep going. It just gives me that ability. Like I've said a lot of times about, as much as I can push myself, it's that the chemistry isn't there to then develop that into a consequence, to an action. And if you think I'm talking shit, then it just means you don't understand it. And you don't understand it because you've never experienced it. That's all. I'm not making this up. So often you get accused of, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just because you don't understand it, it doesn't mean it's wrong. Just because you can't grasp it, all that means is you haven't experienced it. Anyway, So yeah, it has been many times given me the space to do that. But then there's a lot of times when my mood crashes a lot anyway. It's indicated for ADHD. It's not indicated for EUPD or schizotypal PD. Which again would sound like negative thinking, but it's like, no, I've been given a nest of complications, right, that most people don't understand or feel the relevance of. That's the thing. It's once people say they get it, they go, so what? Can't you just? And isn't it just that it's just an eternal minefield to battle against. It's what keeps people driven back indoors, thinking, what's the point? All I do is get interrogated. What about this? What about that? What about that? And it's just repeating the same shit that you've heard for 15 years. And having the same potential pitfalls, potential arguments and fallings out, and people saying, oh, you'll just want to be ill, and rah, rah, rah. All of those conclusions that people make. But I've got them. And they happen anyway. No matter what anyone says to me about is my perception or this, that and the other. It's like I feel it and live it and experience it. And I can't just wish it away. I've been trying. I've been trying all sorts of things for all sorts of time. So anyway, this is what I'm left with. And it is giving me that space at times. And I just literally think there's no real side effects. I'm getting nicely hungry and eating. I think, I haven't been perfect with my diet, but that's all right. It's not suddenly crashed massively and I'm going sort of a day and a half without eating or anything like that. No way. And I'm looking forward to training today. You know what I mean? It's not. There's been no adverse side effects that I can really identify as of yet. I'm sleeping okay. So that was always the balance before. It was like when, with the concerta, he always said with that when you went up, but with that he titrated me up. I think with this he just went smash in, and the starting dose is between 20 and 30, but I think it goes up to 70. So I'm about just under halfway. I was always just above halfway before. I'm not seeing him for another, 3 months, and I saw him last week. So it's like, yeah, what's that? 11 weeks. 11 weeks until I see him again. I think it's a bit later. I've actually put the date in my phone, in my diary. I've actually put it in there. It's there. She gave me a card as well. I don't know where that is. But I've definitely properly put it in my actual phone. I really have. And I've got a long time to see how things are going, and I've got a good opportunity for this gradual increase of things, to start doing my bits of research, start making a lot more plans and doing some groundwork without doing any sort of action. I can do a lot of the more simplistical things, which are still to me massively complicated. That is literally where I'm at. That's literally where I'm at. It takes a lot of focus to maintain a tidy living space and 3 meals a day, as well as going to the gym and keeping up to date with shopping and bits and pieces like that. That is like difficult to maintain. When I try and do complex stuff on top of that, it drops out, and that has been my pattern. So that's, that's just, like I say, that's what's happening. That's not an opinion or an attitude. That's just what's happening. So I do need to just accept that and be okay with that and take the power out of that and say, well, it doesn't mean I can't do anything. That's what I need to do. It's just say, well, what can I fucking do? Even though there's a lot that I can't. I've got to get this off my chest as well, that my leg is fucking killing me and it's getting me right down. It's really annoying. It's been like 3 weeks now, or is it 4? No letter, no physio. It's... So I mentioned it to someone last night. He went, coronavirus. He's a surgeon. He's a surgeon. He's a surgeon. They're totally separate fucking nursing teams and totally separate fucking everything. Everything. People go there for a surgery and leave. They're there for a few hours, mostly. Anyway. Yeah. There's a respiratory virus attacking the country. We need a fucking foot surgeon. So you need a foot and ankle specialist. But yeah, no, it's getting me down. Just walking down to the shop and back, and it's just, oh, for fuck's sake. It's just, you know, you get fatigued by things. You have good days and bad days. It's like just pretty much every day is a bad day. It depends how much I can be willing to do. So you battle with the willingness for fucking ages, and then you start doing something, and then you're just in pain. I am. You're not. It's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's me. Things have been getting complicated for a while. We just don't talk anymore. Right, no, that's crap. So yeah, it's I'm definitely still giving Elvanse a thumbs up, definitely. Even just for the sort of, definitely for the morning period, that lifted mood. And it's not elation, it's not euphoria. It's more the absence of the weary gloom and the spaced out confusion that smacked me square in the balls most days. That's not there. And that's what I'm sort of calling the high of it, or the bloom of it. But there's a definite nice clarity. Like, I was down the co-op just now trying to score me some bog roll. And I was at the coffee machine. Which fucking reminds me. I was at the coffee machine getting this. And, you know, when you swallow and your ears pop and your head just suddenly goes really clear. That sort of shit was going on. So, that just instantly makes me seem to be able to think better sometimes when that happens. So that's all good. Anyway, what is it now? It's 10:26. My group is at 11, and it's, yeah, my truck's parked right outside, which is lush, and I have to walk up the hill. So I've got about 15 minutes. I've got about 15 minutes until I need to actually be driving. So check me out, chilling like a boss, ready to go. My stuff's packed for the gym. My wallet and my keys are in my coat. I've already checked. My magic rectangle is there. That's all I need. I'm looking pretty smooth as fuck. The world is allowed to see me. Narcissistic prick that I am.